Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Black and White United Show. I'm your host Andreas. Thank you so much for tuning in with me this evening. We are going to be reviewing our emphatic win against the arch rival at the MCG on Friday night. What a win it was. Really just putting the nail in the coffin in their season. We're going to get straight to it. There's a fair bit of talking points. I'm going to just speak about the main bits that I thought are relevant. But geez, it was good. Roll the intro.
0, 1. Let's get started.
So before I start, a bit of a somber sort of intro. Just want to dedicate this video to a really good friend of mine who tragically passed away on Thursday. This video and this win, I'm dedicating it to my good mate Daniel Nardella. Daniel and I used to work together many years ago, and we continued our friendship on obviously after we stopped working together. We've been friends for close to 15 years. He's contributed a fair bit to this channel. He's left heaps of comments during my lives, and he's had a pretty decent input also with some Instagram lives that I do with Turtle, Dan and Luke and Bozza as well on Instagram. He's contributed quite heavily on those even before the channel came about. He's a fantastic friend of mine, was a fantastic friend of mine, and he was a mad Pies fan. We actually went to the footy show a few times together, which was really fun. Just a quick story before I get into the review. There was one footy show episode that we went to, and it was when Chris Dawes actually went to Melbourne, and we got told to shush by a lot of people in the audience because we kept on talking. And while we were talking, we were actually getting notes out of our wallet, and we were flicking it at Chris Dawes because he left for the cash. At the time, it was really funny. And my sincere condolences go to his family. My condolences go to his wife Zoe, and to all his family and his close friends. We had an emphatic win against Carlton, and I'm sure that he would have absolutely loved every single bit of it. So getting straight to the win, like pretty much from the get-go, I just felt we were just so much more superior than them in every aspect of the game. Yeah, I think they kicked the first goal through Zach Williams or whatever it was, but just the way that we responded when the game wasn't really an arm wrestle, but when Carlton were, trying to get their transition going, they looked okay on the break, getting the easy hands out of the pack in the first quarter and a little bit of the second, and then halfway through the second quarter, I just felt like we were just all over them. We were putting pressure on them back on the scoreboard, and then before you know it, like we are just so far ahead of them in the third quarter. Now, just on that third quarter in particular, we were just the link up between the midfielders. Don't even worry about the defense. The defense absolutely had it over them the entire day, but the link up between the midfield and the forwards was some of the best we've had all season. I mean, that kick that Lipinski did coming out of the middle, and he hit Jamie Elliott on the run. I mean, seriously, that was just elite. Three players I want to quickly touch on. Actually, first I'll go to the last quarter. The last quarter reminded me so much of the first time that we played them this season. It was just aerial ping pong. They got some really crappy, unnecessary goals, and then we were able, obviously, to finish it. There were some players that obviously we've got Rowan Steele who debuted. I thought Sullivan had a really good game as well. Will Hoskin-Elliott was fantastic. I don't really think there was a player that played that didn't really contribute or anything like that. We had a tactical sub in Jeremy Howe, which I thought was probably the right move. I actually picked him to have a best on ground performance. I thought this would have been his perfect game, but nevertheless, the three players I want to talk about, one of them includes a defender. Now, Isaac Quaynor, we know as Collingwood supporters, we have very high expectations of him and what he produced in 2023, even in 2022. Obviously, last year was a bit of a down year. This year, he started off a bit slow, but he's come into the season so well. Now, Fly said he's back in 2023 form. Personally, my personal opinion, and the coach is right. I mean, my opinion is different to a lot of others. I don't think he's at 2023 form yet, because 2023 form, he was getting more disposals. But the stuff that he's doing now, the marking that he took over the weekend, the spoiling over Charlie Curnow in front of the bench where he absolutely crunched him. There's just so many little passages of play where he was just on fire. If he can continue this form and push it towards the finals now, and really, grow within himself and as his role as the vice captain, and embrace it instead of last year. I think it was a bit more pressure on him and stuff like that too. His fitness is unbelievable. He can be a secret weapon for us moving into the finals, especially if he clicks properly like he is now. So that was the first thing I wanted to say, and I put him in my spotlight quite a bit at the start of the year and stuff, and I just thought to myself, this game, he was unbelievable. Also, I wasn't going to mention him, but now that I have, I thought Dan Houston again produced a really good game. Obviously not the Dan Houston of Port Adelaide. He's still sorting himself into the system, but again, was very influential, did all the right things. His short 45 kicks and pinpointing players directly along the line of the boundary line or cutting it back in. I mean, his vision is absolutely elite. His disposal's pretty good too. I've noticed from the start of the year, he's not fumbling it as much as what he was, like trying to get it on the second or third go. And he's starting to settle in, and I reckon it's going to start growing, and it's going to peak right where it matters the most. The other three players that I really wanted to mention was Tom Mitchell in his first game back. I mean, 20 odd disposals, something like that. Just the in and under work that he did in the packs, getting the ball, hand passing it out, doing his thing, was just, we have been screaming for this all season. Not needing someone like a Ned Long to do it, not needing, anyone to do it, even like a Houston or a Josh Dacos or a Nick Dacos having to get it. Let them run on the outside. They're better to run on the outside than getting into the actual pack. And to have him in there, I mean, was just, we have been screaming for that. And geez, it made Ned Long look good. Geez, it made Nick Dacos look even better. Geez, it made Jack Crisp look amazing last night. So I think now we can officially say that if the trajectory continues the way that it is, there is definitely room in this side for both Ned Long and Tom Mitchell. And I think I'll stand correct that I said maybe not at the start of the season, but by far, if he produces football like that, then yes, 100% there is room for him and Ned Long in the same side this year. The other two, obviously, the Dacos boys were phenomenal. I thought Nick's game was amazing. Josh is next level now. Josh is at the point where he needs to start being recognised to be just as good as his brother. What Josh is putting up on the half-back line is, every other club would absolutely scream for a half-backman the way that he's playing football at the moment. And it's just, Fly was right. If one Dacos isn't going to get you, the other one will. And for us to have this luxury at the moment of having them both, different players in their own right, but the fact that the way they're linking up and playing together, and they know where they are. You saw that hand pass that Nick did in the centre, and Josh was steaming past him. Josh wasn't even in sight on the television screen when I watched it back, and he just put it there, and his brother just took off, which is amazing. Other noticeable players, I mean, our forward line was just ridiculous. I mean, the Triple M's and Jamie Elliott is just fantastic. The other thing that I really want to talk about before I sort of finish this video off, we're still going to have DeGoey, Schultz and McCreary and Bobby Hill, whenever that is, coming back into the side. You put those four players back into our side now, it's going to be really hard to say who's going to miss out. Off the top of my head, you probably take out Sullivan and Steele on that one there. You're going to throw back in Steele Sidebottom, who was out. It is a selection nightmare, but this is the exact type of selection nightmare that we want. To be sitting clear on top of the ladder now, like what, 2-3 games clear on top of the ladder with a really healthy percentage, and but having all these players come back in is an absolute luxury to have at the moment. The best part about this game was we were able to put Carlton, especially in that third quarter when Crispy kicked that goal, Maynard's smother on Ashton Moy, and I think he's actually going to be a decent player for Carlton, so that's something for them to look forward to, but it's not a Carlton show, so who cares? That smother that he did on him and then just kicked along to McStay. McStay with the bodywork, takes the mark, goes back, kicks it. It was just poetry in motion. Absolute poetry in motion. We were able to put the nail in their coffin for their season. They're not going to make finals now. They're 4 games away from the team in 8th. And I think they're 2 games away from the team directly in front of them on the ladder from the last time I saw. So right now, their season's done. We put an end to it. We don't have to worry about the filth anymore. We can move on, and we've now qualified for finals. Let's qualify for top 2. Let's cement the home qualifying final. That's our next target. We have a massive game next Friday night against the Gold Coast. I'll do my preview for that later on during the week. We have a massive game against Gold Coast coming up. One of the commentators, and I think it might have been Jonathan Brown, it might have been, I could be mistaken, said that it's potentially Gold Coast's biggest ever home game. It's going to be their biggest home game in their history. Why? Because they're a half-decent side? Yeah, no worries. It's because the AFL's bank is coming to town. It's because the AFL's bank is coming to town. And I'm pumped. If we can go 4 from 4 in this block of games, so Carlton, Gold Coast, Fremantle and Richmond, we are in a really good spot with these players coming back, so we can be excited for what is to come. We are going to lose a couple of games again during the season, maybe 1, maybe 2 games until finals. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. It's healthy. It's not bad. We're in a position where we can afford to experiment with the magnets and not flirt with form, but if we need to, we can dig deep and we can do stuff, and it's not going to affect us too much in the long run, especially if we don't get any injuries. Touch wood. Pies fans, be happy. I'm happy. I'm excited. We knocked them off 58 points or 56 points or whatever it was. I tipped us by like 4 or 5 goals. That's not a discredit to us. I think maybe I rated them a little bit too high, and obviously with the whole rivalry thing and stuff, you begin to think potentially, they're going to come out and they're going to play their grand final and whatever. They didn't. It was us. It was us from the start, and we did what we needed to do. Make sure you drop a comment. Tell me what you think. Call it as you see it. And as always, go the Pies. There we go. So that was Eli from the North Melbourne Footy Club, loyal supporter there. So that's a thoughts from a dedicated North Melbourne supporter. I'm gonna making some comments, Daniel. I'm not gonna post it there. Shut up, bro. All right, so I'm gonna get David Hatley.